fish out, take my thumb and I go underneath the gill plate. Now the first secret is a lot of guys try to cut straight through the fish, through the scales. Well, that'll dull your knife real fast. The secret is to lay the fillet knife at an angle and come under the scales and make your cut. Then we slit through the belly. Then we come back up and place the tip of your knife in the front of the fish. Now angles are the secret. If you can see, I start forward like this and I come through the fillet. And when I reach the pectoral fin, it's all in my wrist. See how I just turn my wrist this way and it slides over the fin and through the fish. And there's your fillet. I flip the fish over, I put my forefinger in the gill plate, I come up underneath these two fins, and same thing, come at an angle under the scales. Now again, on your wrist is the secret. I start back, you come through the fish, and when I reach that fin, again, I just turn my wrist and see how it flops over that fin, and then just pull through. Fillet is complete. Now I'm going to give you some tips on how to clean bluegill. On the bluegill, the rib cage is a lot thicker, so I prefer using an electric knife. Again, I approach the fish the same way. I take my thumb and place it underneath the gill plate. And even with an electric knife, you still want to come in at an angle underneath the scales. So I lay the knife at an angle and I come through. Then same way, you come up and put the tip of the knife right up front here. And again, it's in my wrist angle. I come forward, and when I hit this fin, I turn my wrist and I come through the fish. As you can see, you get a nice fillet. I flip it over, take my forefinger underneath the gill plate, come up underneath the fins, come at an angle, down to and you always want to get up to the head and get that meat as far up as you can. Then I take my knife, turn it, and I run through. Then I pick up and it comes off the fillet. And you can see you have two really nice fillets. Hi, I'm Perry from Ultimate Fishing Gear. Now that you've purchased your SKINZIT, I'm going to give you a few pointers on how to use the SKINZIT. First of all, this lever closes this up to the roller. So you want to press this firmly when you get ready to remove the rib bones. So I've cleaned one bluegill here. You can see that you have two sides to the fillet. I'm going to show you how to remove the rib bones first. You always start from the wide side of the fish. Now you can see, like I said earlier, you clamp this firmly. What I do is I use the table for a reference. So you want to enter the point of this rib bone into the middle of the SKINZIT. And I use the table again for a reference. So I touch the Skinner on the table, I tip it up at an angle like this, press firmly, start the throttle, and move in. As you can see, it removes the rib bone. Now part of the secret is throttle control. This operates a lot quicker than it looks. So if you noticed when I came in, it's just a short burst on the throttle. After you remove the rib bone, you flip your fillet over. Again, you always want to start on the head end of the fish, not the tail. Now when we're going to do the skin, we're just going to lay this flat on the table. We're going to depress the lever again firmly, and we're going to start our throttle and move in. Now as I move in, you don't want to push down. You want to lay it flat, slide in, and as you come in, you just lift up a little bit, and it'll grab that skin. And I'm going to demonstrate it right here. So I lay it flat, press firmly on the lever, start the throttle, and move in. Now here I stop about a ½ an inch from the tail. I reach underneath with my hand with the lever still clamped firmly, and I pull the meat off the tail. Then I hit the throttle and run the skin out. As you can see, it did a perfect job on that bluegill fillet. Look at that. All the belly meat intact, no meat on the skin, rib bone totally removed. It's unbelievable. You cannot save that much meat off a fillet with any other device. You've got to own one of these, believe me.